Alright, this is part 3 of the remix of speech tutorials, and I wanted to kind of show you what I'm working on. And this is just a totally passion project for me and for fun. So I went through all of my various speech clips, audio clips, and I actually created all my loops from them. I showed you how to do that in the previous video. If you're ever unsure where to find your loops, if you go to the browse loops here or up on the side and you click my loops, they will all be there. I named all mine so I would have a clue what what each one was, but you can have your workflow be anything you want. So because this is kind of a space themed piece, I wanted it to start out kind of spacey. So I have a definite kind of artistic and musical goal in mind with this piece, which you should have as well. Any style you choose is totally fine, but kind of commit to it, all right? So I found this loop, kind of spacey loop that I pulled in. And then I was messing around with the piano.
I believe we should go to the moon.
So I made this little melody.
This is not merely a race.
Top. I used a synth.
Space is open to us now, and our eagerness to share its meaning is not governed by the efforts of others.
So I kind of wanted it to sound a little bit eerie and spacey at the beginning. And you'll see here that I actually pulled in the same loop, speech loop, twice, and I staggered it because I thought that was kind of a neat effect.
I believe we should go to the moon.
And then I even, on the second iteration, I chopped it up a little bit because I wanted to see what happened. And let's see what this sounds like. I'm going to clip off the end of that. There we go. And now, sometimes if you're working with one track, you may want to, for instance, mute other tracks just so that they're not distracting you. So I'm actually going to do my 2 speech tracks on.
I believe we should go to the moon.
And then I want to repeat like to the moon. So I'm going to copy that. I selected it and I did Command C, and then I want to the moon to echo a couple times. So I'm going to try doing that, and wherever you place your cursor guy is where it's going to pop in. You can also drag it around if you need to. Nope, not that way. There we go. All right, so that's kind of one cheater way to get enough.
I believe we should go to the moon. Go to the moon. But this is not merely a race.
So I don't like the go to again, but I think I like the to the moon. So I'm going to try just those 2. Nope, I want you to move over, please. Let's do it this way. And then I think I'm going to fade out the last one. So if you want to be able to fade in and out on like specific loops or tracks, you hover over the one you want and you click edit, and then you can actually do a fade out. And there's all these other controls that you can do. Like you could auto tune it, you could transform the voice, like make it a baby voice. Let's see what that sounds like. JFK is a baby. Just kind of
But this is not merely
weird. All right, let me try it again.
the moon. But this is not merely
I don't love that, so I'm gonna do Command Z or Control Z to go back. But I do like what I did with the echoey to the moon bits. All right, and so this is basically what you're gonna do.
I believe we should go to the moon. But this is not merely a race.
And so I'm gonna see what that sounds like all together with my weird little synth loop that I made. Speaking of which, let me show you how to make one of those. So I did add new track, and then I clicked on synth. Keys would work too. And then you can actually pick, my little head's in the way. There we go. You can pick any of the instruments, kind of just go through. You can also double click. And then say I wanted it to be a synth. and I'll just do bell piano. So I'm just picking something. Not right for this one at all. Alright, I'm gonna go with that because it kind of feels like it fits with here. And then you can actually use one of our MIDI keyboards as an input, or you can use the mouse. Alright, so I'm just messing around, so I'm not really trying to do anything. So I'm going to click record.
But this is not merely a race. Space is open to us now, and our eagerness to share its meaning is not governed by the efforts of others. I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Alright, so I recorded a dinky little piano thing. That's not something that actually I'm going to use.
Space is open to
I wanted
us
to show you
now,
how to do it.
and our eagerness to share its meaning is not
When you're
governed
done
by the
recording,
efforts
you
of
just
others.
click the stop button or the not record button anymore.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out.
Alright, so anyway, I'm going to take that out because it's not really what I was thinking of for my project. I can't make that go away because the loom controls. Alright, so I'm going to come back up here to my main project. Go away. There we go. Alright. Sorry, the little XE guy was right where my recording controls are. So this is what I've got so far. And I actually kind of like it. And so I'm kind of thinking one of the requirements of the project is that you have at least two distinct sections, like an A, B, or an ABA, or you could do more than that.
Space is open to us now,
I'm kind of breaking it
and
up
our
into
eagerness to share its
like
meaning is not
the
governed by the
early
efforts of
part,
others.
which was where JFK made his kind of declaration.
I believe
and
that this nation should
challenged
commit itself
Congress and the
to
nation.
achieving the goal,
And then the next
before this
section is
decade
going
is
to
out,
kind of be like
of
a
landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the
kind of
earth.
like a lo-fi techno kind of feel. And then I want to go into as like using some of the countdown audio that I have, kind of build it up until you have the launch with the thing, and then kind of bring it back down. So that's kind of the flow I'm thinking for this one. But really, this is your chance to be creative, to have your voice and your passion really be communicated through your project. So use loops, use the MIDI keyboards and drum pads, record yourself speaking or singing if you think that works. Just experiment. If you don't like it, you can always undo it. And don't forget, always, always, always save before you leave your project, okay? This is one that should take quite a few sessions to kind of get to the point where you feel it's perfect. All right?